Salamun alaikum. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude for the invitation to speak on such an auspicious occasion to our beloved Cypriot community. My dear friends, sisters, brothers, viewers, I wish you all an amazing Ramazan Bayram, Sheker Bayram. Bayram is a festival that has been observed by our people for centuries. It is a time where families come together, children are given gifts, good memories are made, charity is given to the poor. It is a time of unity where the community comes together, where we help the vulnerable in our society, where we help the sick, the needy, the elderly. It is also a time of celebration and fulfillment. This year, we have observed hundreds of Cypriots who have decided to fast for the month of Ramadan for the first time ever. Something that our people have observed for centuries. Yes, this involves abstaining from food and drink during the day, but more importantly, it is about abstaining from filthy habits, swearing, backbiting, gossiping, judging others, having hatred, having envy. It is a time for reflection, spirituality, a time for humility and sincerity, a time to take a good hard look at oneself and ask, what am I doing with my life? Some of our people ask, why do we fast? In the Quran, it states that the primary objective of Ramadan is to attain taqwa, God consciousness, that every step we take, every breath we take, we are constantly mindful of our Creator, and this is the highest level of spirituality. Islam is to purify, to cleanse our hearts. This is what it really means to be a Muslim. Muhammad, upon whom be peace, stated, "None of you truly believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself." And many of the early scholars stated that this isn't brother in faith, but brother in humanity, and obviously not just brother, but sisters as well. He taught patience, mercy, love, kindness, respect. He taught that we should respect our parents, that paradise is at the feet of our mothers. He was a strong advocate for women's rights, that the best of you is the one who is best to their wife. That women could vote in the 7th century in Arabia, a place that used to trade women and treated them as though they were inferior. Yet he changed that. The first university in the entire world was established by a Muslim woman. He taught us that we should help the poor, that one who goes to bed full while their neighbour is hungry is not one of us. He taught the importance of education, that one must seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. This is Muhammad, upon whom be peace. Many of us may reject him, but have no idea who he was, what he stood for, or have even studied his life. He was a husband, a father, a politician, a leader, a revivalist. This is a man that has inspired and transformed the lives of billions of people throughout history, today and even the future. He brought light to darkness. No matter how much people would try to burn out that light, it will remain burning. He replaced hatred with love. He was the most influential person that ever existed. And he is our prophet. We in our community have people named after him. Mehmet. We have people named after his daughter, Fatma, his mother, Emine, his father, Abdullah, his grandchildren, Hassan, Hussein, his cousin, Ali, and his friends, Ömer and Osman. These names have become names of our community out of love and respect for this amazing, remarkable individual. Unfortunately, today we are living in a world where people claim to follow Muhammad, upon whom be peace, but do not live by his character, his teachings and his way. There are people that use the term Muslim for their own agenda. They outwardly try to show that they are good people, perhaps even attend mosque, look the part, the beard, the thobe, use all the Arabic terms, mashallah, inshallah, alhamdulillah, but deep down they are hollow, they are empty, they are wearing a mask. But don't worry, in the Quran it states that the hypocrites are the worst of people. And we have to believe this. Don't for a second think that Allah doesn't know what people really want or what their secret agendas really are. And this happened during the time of Muhammad, upon whom be peace. This is why he taught that actions are but by intentions. Allah knows our intentions, and the day will come where we are all judged accordingly. If you fasted to look good in the community or for your own ego, then that is what you shall be rewarded for. judged for. If you use God's deen, God's religion, for the purpose of making money, conning people, if you really cheat, steal, lie, then know that Allah will deal with you severely. Despite this, we should never allow the issue of hypocrisy to become an excuse for detracting us from our faith. After all, despite their claims, they do not represent Allah, the Quran, or Islam. We should not allow these people to hijack our faith. They do not represent truth or justice. They do not represent love, kindness, compassion, or mercy. And if anyone understood the basics of Islam, they would immediately realize that these people are hollow. Sisters and brothers, I do not worship the Muslim community. We have many issues. I follow and believe in Allah alone, that God is greater than all, and I firmly put my trust in God's hands, for only God is perfect. My beloved friends, judging others is a big sin, and our community today is so judgmental towards others, especially those who wish to be Muslim, as though non-religious people are perfect. Often we hear, why is that man going to the mosque? Yesterday he was sinning, he was doing bad. But why are you judging others? We should mind our own business. Being a Muslim isn't a claim to perfection. Quite the opposite, it is a claim that we are imperfect. We all sin, we all make mistakes. Our hodjas, our teachers, our imams, all of us, especially me. But Islam is not for perfect people. It is for those who strive for perfection. We are all weak, we are all flawed, but we should not be so arrogant as to not ask for forgiveness. Leave judgment to God. Stop judging people. If you really want to judge someone, then judge yourself. At least they are going to the mosque, and that takes humility. Let us not only be Muslim when somebody dies or when we have difficulties. Let us not become the hypocrites I just mentioned. Ignorance is so high in our community. But why have we become like this? Where did we go wrong? After the time of our merciful one, our loved one, Muhammad, upon whom be peace, the Muslim community began to move to other societies. Iraq, Cyprus, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, Morocco, and so many more. When they migrated to these countries, they positively changed these countries, these communities, these people for the better. Fully integrating with society, they adopted the culture of the people but contributed towards its betterment. But they never sold their principles. They never lost their faith. They never compromised their ethics. Our respected grandparents came to this country to give us the opportunities that they never had. But they were a different generation. My grandparents came here and they worked very hard. They may not necessarily have had the best of educations, but they knew how to work hard, and they knew about insan look, being good to people. They believed in God. They understood that fundamentally, Islam is about treating others the way in which you wish to be treated. They understood that Islam is the process of cleansing the heart. But if they saw our community now, I truly believe that they would have done things differently too. Think what you want of our people. Our previous generations may not have had everything that we have today. They may not have had internet or computers or even a university degree. But they were still wise enough to recognize Islam for what it was, for what it is, truth. We often hear our older generation telling the younger generation that you always think that you know better. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you're more intellectual. And I concur. We see many youngsters today who are no longer comfortable and no longer hungry, no longer ambitious, no longer inspired like our parents and grandparents who came to this country. Something went wrong. Something wasn't passed down. And when we came here to Britain, the hunger that we had, unfortunately as a community, we've begun to lose that hunger. But has this generation ever stopped to think that once upon a time they were also a younger generation that thought that they knew better? That for hundreds of years, centuries, many things changed within our Cypriot culture, but we never ever sold our faith. Go back to Cyprus 100 years ago, and not one person could probably comprehend the idea of atheism. But we think now that we know best. Why? Because we watch the media. And we've been sold this idea that Islam is backward, that Islam is about terror, that it is irrational, irrelevant, historic. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Islam is inherently modern. Islam is needed today more than ever. Islam is about peace, love, and compassion. Now is the time to return to our faith, to return to the principles that our grandparents and their parents were upon. Today is a Bayram like no other. A Bayram in the midst of a deadly coronavirus that has affected our community and killed our people. This is a time where we really need to reflect on ourselves as a community and revive our intellectual heritage, our soft hearts, our passion, our drive, and our enthusiasm. This is in our blood, our DNA, and until we dig deep down and find that flame, we are living a life not worth living. Thank you.